And we are live. Peace and power, peace, family, peace and light. Welcome back to Vocal Dialect Podcast. We got my boy Kenwater Akil in the building. We
Yeah,
got Gerald Moore in the building as well. Brother Shaka is coming. Also, our special guest is coming as well.
BaBa
Brother
Imhotep.
Imhotep.
Yeah, we'll
So
be
we're
here.
gonna be doing a bunch of various topics tonight. We're definitely going to be speaking about the renaming of Washington D.C. by yours truly Trump. He wants to rename Washington D.C. to the District of America. That's another topic we're going to be dealing with, as well as we're going to be dealing with the twins' death that happened in Georgia as well. So we're gonna kick the show off. I got something for you guys real quick. We're gonna kick the show off, and pretty much up under Donald Trump's leadership, um, marked by you know his tenure as the 45th president of the United States of America, 2017 to 2021. So it's a mix of him being bold and having a lot of controversy. His leadership style is very unconventional, which has the people in an uproar, especially in the corporation of the United States of America. So a lot of that going on, as well as by him being so different and unconventional, from traditional political forms and just the overall political game itself. Leveraging his background in business to approach and govern with his focus for like economic growth and certain regulations that he has going on as well. So he's rooted in a different ideology, and he's putting his interest on the American people, particularly in the term of job creation, immigration, reforms, as you already know, all kind of reforms, economic policies. His America first. That's what he keeps saying when he have his speeches. His this so-called mantra, and dealing with the nationalism and the protectionism and towards the international alliance and trade deals. So dealing with international commerce, he's definitely affecting that and bringing on with this different ideology. It's not really ruling in his favor. So by him saying in his speeches America first, his mantra that he always keeps saying or whatever, and then he tried to focus on so-called economics and the deregulatory focus on a lot of different topics. His administration cutting taxes, notably the Tax Cut and the Job Acts of 2017, reducing government regulations, particularly energy. Then he's reducing regulations in healthcare, and also he dealing with the financing sectors of the public and the private. Those that right there is very important. So credited with the initial economic boom marked by a low unemployment, allegedly a low marked by a low unemployment and the rise in stock market, that's wrong too as well, because the stock market has been crashing.
Mm-hmm.
So you're dealing with America first, this economic thing he has going on that he's so-called trying to do as well. You also have the controversial communication. He's a bad communicator, foreign policy, and his leadership, which is very unconventional. This is something that must be addressed, and a lot of people are scared to address it. And well, I'm not gonna say they're not scared to address it, but what they're doing is they are upset about it because it's not going their way, and a lot of people who voted for him are very upset. You know, that's some other stuff that that we gonna discuss as well as the legal challenges. You know, as far as Trump leaving office, his leadership remains as a point of contention and controversy. So overall, the leadership was marked by him being popular and assertive, and then disruptive, his disruptive approach to government, which is enduring effects on both the American people and international countries as well. International countries as well, as far as international commerce that I like to talk about here and there. You know, man. So what's your thoughts on that, brother Gerald? How you feel? You know, as far as him, his so-called unconventional approach and his political shift, which he's doing. You know, virtually this is his way of governing America from his so-called business past that he has. He has this great business past, and now everybody's upset about it. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
You see anybody in the chat? Can let me know because I can't see the chat right now.
well, you know, initially,
before Gerald, brother Gerald, go ahead, get we spin on it. Everybody who in the chat, you know, like, comment, and subscribe.
You see anybody in the chat?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, all right, cool.
Hey, brother Lee Clay, we ain't sent to him in a minute, brother. Thanks for chiming in. We got Bernard Expressions and brother Wilbur Harris. Yeah, Wilbur Harris. Hey, make sure y'all hit the like button, you know, help with the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, you know, make a comment. If you have any questions with this topic, chime on in, you know, we got you. We'll respond to it. All right, brother Gerald.
Yeah, well, you know, initially with having Donald Trump being the 47th president, I mean, and having him, as you said, knowledge, his unconventional ways of, you know, changing the name, all the way to changing the name of the District of Columbia. But people should be aware of why he's doing that, because initially he has another plan. They saying that they so-called people saying that he said that the only reason he's changing the name is to change direction, I guess. But would it, and when you remove the district from Washington D.C. and it's not Washington anymore, then it becomes where the people of America or the corporation, they lose immunity. And when you lose immunity, that means we will have mass atrocities. I mean, catastrophic, because then you can have mass arrests. No one's governing anything, and the people are no longer under the protection of the corporation. And as well as you wanted to say about his the way that he's going about his presidency. I mean, I've never seen anything like it before in all my 60-something years. And it's not frightening to me, because we know these things are going to come to pass, because, I mean, they've never given us any reason to think that they have our best interests in mind or at heart, or that they're really thinking about the people. The leaders are really thinking about themselves.
So, let me ask you a question, because, you know, you want to, hey, what's up, General Shock?
What's going
on? Peace,
brother.
How y'all doing, man?
What he said was the reason.
God.
What's the reason? Why do he want to change the name? I know D.C. is like the nation's capital. Don't have a state. It's like its own city or whatever you want to call it. So, what's the reason for this? I mean, what y'all think? Think is the reason?
I think. Go ahead, Shop.
Because when they change the name, it no longer is a corporation; it becomes a republic, and then you know, and that's also another ploy to when it becomes a republic, they can also deal with all the government corruption and begin to either regulate or shut down the said government of today, you know, and create and pass different laws and legislations that will solidify the republic. Because by being a corporate entity, it's just a corporation. It's just like being somewhere working for a company. And so, however the company treats you, you know, that determines your well-being. That determines your welfare. So, you know, that's just another ploy to rid the said government. So you're going to hear a lot of uproar behind that because, unfortunately, a lot of our people are, you know, content with this level of obscurity and suppression.
But you know, that's kind of ironic, a little ironic for someone to say something like that they want to rename DC. That's like you taking Martin Luther King Avenue and you want to rename that something else. I mean, because you saying it's not close to Columbia. That don't even make sense.
I forgot, what's up, brother Chris? I forgot brother Christopher DeWitt is on the feed too. Street Life Soldier. What's up, brother, man?
Okay. So you know, that's the conclusion that I came up with. My portion of understanding thus far. I haven't done an in-depth analysis of the intricacies of how you know, they want to conduct this, but it's just said that it's possibility this weekend that the name could change. So,
Early as this weekend?
Mm-hmm.
yes, yes.
Yeah. Wow. But I mean that they've been planning this. They're just opening it up to the public.
What's next?
We're gonna talk about the two twins down here in Georgia that got found dead in Bell Mountain, Bell Park.
Bell Mountain.
Bell Mountain, yeah. We don't even know where that's at.
So, we go to the two. I'm gonna come back to Trump in 1 second. So as soon as I put this pitch up, but go ahead.
Well, my research on 2 19-year-old twins live right out there in Lawrenceville. Everybody down in the Atlanta metro area know what Lawrenceville is at. When they county, they were supposed to be going to take a trip to Boston, Massachusetts. Well, obviously they never made it. They found the Bell Mountain, wherever Bell Mountain is at. It sounds like it's far away from the Atlanta metro area. And what they said, a voluntary firefighter had took a lot of pictures. It got posted all over the internet. Mm-hmm. Me personally, I think it was the hit. Christopher DeWitt said Bell Mountain is in North Carolina. Okay. But
no. Bell Mountain is in Georgia, but it's near the North Carolina border. It is. That is correct. And maybe a portion of it does extend into North Carolina, but it's actually in Georgia, you know, and probably on that line of what they call the Cumberland Gap or the Shenandoah, where West Virginia, North Carolina, and Georgia actually links up. And so it's a whole lot of surrounding mountains in that particular region. However, the cracker that got arrested was a volunteer firefighter in that particular county. And so these twins were, you know, the plane tickets, their airline tickets were still in their wallets. And they were basically abducted. You know, it's no other way to put it. You know. I didn't hear you.
Jerry.
Yeah. That's my. Go ahead. You can finish.
So, you know, it's no other way to put it. They were abducted, you know, in one of these sundown towns, and you know, they were murdered. Now, the question is what was the purpose, and were their organs still intact?
Right.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Like
Were
Kendrick
they
Lamar.
lynched? Because they were both shot execution style, you know, and to take two brothers to simply execute them and murder them, you know, apparently there had to been some level of struggle. There had to been more than one person involved, you know, and what leaked out was that Neanderthal who took the pictures of their deceased bodies, and then he began to post them. And that's just based on my experiences, you know, dealing and with Aryans and so many other white supremacist groups in prison. This is how they like to move. The same way in the lynching, the lynchings and hangings of the early 20th century, where they would take pictures, they would sell tickets, they would make postcards out of our ancestors' lynched and deceased bodies. So it's just been, you know, upgraded a little bit. And that, you know, the same practices, the same mindsets are the same. It's just that they have advanced their lynchings along with technology. So, you know, once again, there's nothing has changed. You know, they know that the response is going to be minimal to zero. There's going to be a lot of praying and no slaying behind it. And you know, this is why we're where we at. You know, this is why we're where we at. And not to get off the subject, but to bring some more clarity and extend the topic, is that they know that we are in no shape, in no condition, economically, financially, morally, physically, to engage in a response that will put an end to, you know, this tyranny that exists, you know, in this country. First of all, you know, we do a lot of barking and no biting. We have a history of that. We have a long history of the loud bark and no bite mindset. And we're not in no, you know, and they control us. This is why I'm getting sick and tired of everybody yelling revolution, and you really are not ready for nothing. You're an evolutionary, you know, with that particular mindset, because all they have to do, you know, they have us so controlled that we don't have any discipline. How are we going to revolt, and we can't even form a personal revolution with GMOs that we take in every day? In other words, you know, we talk about revolution and discipline, but we don't even have a structured, disciplined diet. We don't have a structured, disciplined mindset. We don't have anything, and I'm not talking making a blanket statement, but I'm talking about the masses of our people who generally are comatose with religion, food, sex, drugs, and self-hatred. This is why they sit back and laugh at those who on social media that do all this barking and yelling and I'm the greatest this, I'm the number one this, and You know, they sit back and laugh while we're barking as a people on their networks, on their channels, on their stations, and through their airwaves that they can cut us off at any time. You know, but the days of talking have become slim because they have upgraded their tyranny against us. You know, that's just a test drive to see the response. They do this all the time. It's just a test drive to see the response of the people. And you're gonna have, once again, I always say, you know, the 11 Negroes. You know, you'll have about 20 people go up on the mountain and yell and scream, and then they'll come back down the mountain and go straight to Popeyes. You know, there's no discipline, there's no structure, and we're under social order and social control. And a lot of us need to take a serious look at that. You know, that's why when we claim all this knowledge and we're on point, nobody can outdo us. We're the greatest debaters on the planet. You really, you know, these people sit back, these globalists and elitists sit back and laugh at that because you pose no threat. You have created no momentum towards liberation. You know,
let me ask you something, General Shock. So, what you think about that community? I know this kind of off, but anyway, I'm just listening to what you're saying. So, what you think about the brothers and sisters that's in a small town in Ohio? They standing on their business, from what I see so far.
Definitely, and you have to take your hat off to them. You have to give them their props. However, on the whole, how does it look?
Right, right.
How
Yeah.
many other cities have joined in these standings? You see what I'm saying? It's just Lincoln Heights in the town of Columbus, Ohio. The brothers and sisters that are fed up because Ohio is the Aryan Rand state. It's an Aryan state. You know what I'm saying? And so you can imagine how much they've been oppressed to the point where they had to take it to the street. But they were probably thinking that there would have been continuity, that they would have gotten phone calls, they would have gotten support, and people, so-called revolutionaries and these crackhead activists would have came together and linked up, you know, and made a stand because for real, if the entire so-called unconscious community, because they still sleep, you know, if they had all got together and went to Ohio into Lincoln Heights, that would have sent a message that, you know, next this is it, you know, and then this situation with those twins in Georgia would have sparked something in the hearts and minds of our people because our young people actually, man, whether they GDs, whether they Vice, whether they Bloods, Crips, Folk Nation, a lot of them are actually on standby. They're just waiting to see some real people stand up. They're actually waiting. They're tired of going on podcasts and listening to these same old people. I'm the most requested person, and I'm the King Kong. I'm the sweetheart of the dick and thighs and all this bullshit. You know, they're about fed up with that. They, it becomes routine to the point where it becomes comedic. You know, and entertainment, man. And so, you know, a lot has to be done. But
Bernard, excuse me, brother Chuck. Bernard Expresses, he said, asked the question, what about St. Louis?
Who asked that question?
Bernard Expressions. He said, what about St. Louis? I don't know what's going on.
Put in the chat what you mean about St. Louis, brother.
Yeah, put in the chat out Bernard Expresses. So I don't know. No, I don't know.
I like what Shaka's saying because you do it so many times, we become desensitized and numb to what is happening to us as a people. You know, keep running the same script. like Shaka call it, the play. Keep running the same play, and you know, nothing is being done. Not saying that we can't move in that order, but to me, we just too separated. And I'm just being for real. To be in a revolution, you have to be able and willing to give it all you have, even if it means, you know, your whole self as a whole. I'm not gonna say the other word. I don't want them to say nothing, but we have to give it all we got, because if we don't give it all we have, then of course we're gonna be laughed at. They laugh at us, man. I know they do. I done seen them laugh at us, man.
Of course
Joke
they laugh.
about it. And you know, and we sit back and we don't do anything. So and they don't do what they don't do a lot of stuff at one time like they used to, because they figured out they hit like this city, that city, that city, that city. If something happening 4-5 cities, it's a major uproar. But if they hit one city, wait a while, oh, they ain't do nothing this time. Okay, do it again. Wait a while. Oh, they ain't do nothing this time either. And that's the part that it looks bad. But we are the hunted. We are the hunted. We are the created. We are the hunted. We are the manifestors. We are the hunted. Like Shaka say, we got all these conscious minds. You know, I'm this and that and that and this, and no one is scared to lay their life down. I'm gonna say that. No one is scared to lay their life down. And by people, by our so-called leaders or people in the revolution not scared to do that, it just get tossed around. Now it's a thing. I was just somewhere here a couple of days ago, and it was one of them the rainbow people, a male, and he was saying some we got to do something about that. Talking about the Black Panthers, we Black Panther Party. There is no way, shape, form, and fashion he shouldn't be letting that come out of his mouth.
Well, it's been like that for a minute, though.
He ain't gonna bust a grape in 6 states, you know. And it's just a word we throw. They just throw all the words that mean something to us. They just throw them around like it's comical, you know. And people now are just coming along as it's a fad, it's a trend, and be talking and having barbershop discussions and supermarket discussions, and they gonna bust a grape, and then talk about the law and politics, and then have the nerve to talk about, and then they go from there and go straight to Jesus. Oh, you know this Jesus playing? How's it his playing? The one thing I can say, they have took that Bible and stretched it, man. Man, they took that Bible and stretched it, man. They take the one verse, man, workers of iniquity. They add that to everything. Anything happen bad, oh, that's the workers of iniquity. Anything happen bad, oh, it's the workers of iniquity. Oh, they said in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? That one verse don't mean that, man. And I'm not even a Bible scholar. I'm just telling you from face value as looking at it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
but it's the same run, the same play. Go ahead, Ken.
I think Bernard expressed his he responded to what you had said, but I really can't see it. Could you read it?
He said, it is some of the things going on with our brothers and sisters. They're based on our Black communities there. Same as here in Washington, D.C. Okay, I've been doing the research. Yeah, I would check it out. I don't know what's going on in St. Louis, Missouri, but I do have connects down there. I will definitely give them a call tomorrow and see what's going on down there. I tell you one thing I can say about Missouri and Illinois, it has been taken over by a lot of Hebrews, man. 200 and 300 marching down the street, but I don't see them doing anything, man. Nothing.
Well, I know. Go ahead, Brother Jeremy.
But we can't say something different about the pupils of what's that? Lincoln Heights in Ohio. Yeah. And that's a unification where the people came to arms, and they protect. They were armed to protect their community, and they got together in a force, and that force was able to remove the ones that came there to cause trouble, the neo-Nazi group, the Klan that came to pass out literature, the racial slurs they was saying towards the children when they was getting out of school. Now that shows unification. Now if we get that around the country, man, could you imagine the force that we could have? But at least we got somebody, as we said last week, somebody's commenced to doing something. It's always a stop. All you have to do is have people to get involved. It don't take nothing. It don't take you thinking about it. It takes initiative. Put it forward, put it in action. Once you do that, you have some resolution, and then you have some resolve. But then until that, we're gonna keep talking about it. And as Shaka said, we're gonna get them false illusions of what somebody will do, what they won't do. You have people saying what they will and wouldn't do. We got to get past that, because them people not waiting for us to think about what we doing. They doing that. They committing their action and their movement now.
Right. That's why I had brought it up, because hey, they doing what they supposed to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even it wasn't even not even too much of a highly organized effort. It was call and response. It was call and response. Also, once again, where were all of these groups and all these people when they first saw this? When they first saw this, and I'm talking about those who have access in those surrounding areas, like you got Ohio. I'm talking about like Indiana and other surrounding states that could have, and because every state is a tri-state or quad tri-state area. So where were those surrounding states and all of these people that bark and yell on social media and do all these photo ops, and put on the betrayal? This is why they laugh at us. This is why they laugh at us, because we pose no threat, even on these airways. They tell us what to say and what not to say.
Yep.
I got to watch this. I can't say this because they'll do this and they'll do this, and then we'll turn around and say we warriors and gods and King Kong consciousness and all this shit, which I'm so fed up with the phoniness, as me and Kim was talking the other day, the phoniness of these so-called people under the auspices of consciousness. They can't even conduct a structured regimen of keeping in touch with each other on the phone. Sorry, motherfuckers. I mean, sorry. But, and I put those individuals and those groups in the same categories as these jigaboos, because they have so many similarities. They're anti-revolution. They're luring people into this illusional thinking that we're free, that we're moving forward. We're not moving nowhere. We're not moving nowhere. There are very, very small groups, far and few in between, in this country that are actually throwing down, not just giving out information, but standing on business. Those that are active in the community, those that are trying to raise the consciousness level of our people, and those are the ones that are less supported. Those are the ones that don't get the support. They're limited. They're closely monitored on podcasts, but the ones who pose no threat, they allow them to bark and yell as loud as they want, because those individuals have the ability to derail the thinking of our people, to put them on this journey of false hope and illusion, which turns into disillusion, which turns into frustration. And the bottom line to that creates self-hatred. And then we continue to just tirade black on black violence in our communities, to the point now that this devil, Joel Osteen, who owns the Lakewood Church in Texas, Monday fired a nuclear missile from his church that flew over Washington, D.C. Monday. And he has 2 more. Now, what is a so-called evangelist doing with nuclear warheads on the church compound that he actually, it went into the Potomac River, and then which led to the Atlantic Ocean, but it flew right over Washington, D.C. No one said anything. There was no alert for the states that that nuclear warhead went. There was no warnings or anything. You had to actually do research to find out that took place. And so, and they do these things like this to test, how they're going to respond to us. And like you said, Knowledge, we're not willing to lay nothing out on the line. This become a fad. This has become a fashion statement, black liberation. Now they're calling people hoteps and all of this type of foolishness. And, once again, when y'all mention that Bible, now if you look at the history of that, our ancestors were beaten into submission. The skin was beaten off their backs. That book was beaten into them, physically beaten into them. Now you look at it on Sundays. They can't wait to continue the indoctrination, to continue that indoctrination. As a matter of fact, you don't even hear these black churches even mentioning anything about their ancestors. They go straight past their ancestors and go to these imaginary deities.
It's a lot going on, and I think this year it's going to be a year of unpacking a lot of information, disinformation, and we have to come to the realization that we still on the battlefield, because once again, the American dream is every ethnic group making money off of the copper brown people, African Americans. It doesn't matter what we do, they still allowed to come and infiltrate our communities. They give it tax breaks. Where I come from, they give the certain Arabs, they let them get free taxes, open up liquor stores in the community, beauty. They open up beauty supply stores in the community, and what they do is they slick with it. You got one Arab, he get free taxes for a year, then he bring another cousin here before the so-called years is up, man. I think it's 5 years or something like that. And he sell it to his cousin for $1. So now his cousin, which is still in the family, they getting tax-free for another 5 years. So they putting these businesses in our communities, and yet we are not making any money off of it. We not getting nothing from that. Those particular places in poverty-stricken areas, those particular townships, they not getting no money off of that. They get free taxes in the community, selling poison. And not to mention, some of these Arabs are having sex with the sisters.
They've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah, they sure.
Yeah, I'm just saying, overall, the all the stuff that goes on, and now we dealing with like when I was speaking about earlier, this president now with his very unconventional way of dealing with politics, foreign politics, and things that come across his table and the decisions that he made. and everybody was rooting for him because he was so-called a businessman. But now, there's different videos on TikTok and Instagram where Europeans are fighting each other and snatching hats off their head. They say make America great again. They snatching them off their head because of the certain things that's going on. Not only have people lost their jobs, I'm talking about Europeans. They some of the main ones who have lost their jobs and lost their livelihood, and then us as a people, they get mad because we not getting involved. One lady made a post. She said we're gonna let y'all handle this, and we just gonna sit back and watch Tubi. You know what I'm saying? Well, but that's crazy though. They want us to get involved, and we on the lowest of the pole as far as getting any benefits from these particular programs. Then come to find out the Europeans are at the highest on the pole. Anything that was structured in this company that was supposed to be for African American people, we at the bottom as far as getting the benefit. Other races are at the top as far as getting the benefit. Don't forget, we are the last race, or we are one of the few races who have not even, got any reparations. You know, we haven't got no reparations or anything like that, and it's really sad because we built the country. Without us, there is no Western European society. Without us, there is no Western European law. There is nothing.
Well, as
So
far as
one thing I can say to a lot of people is this: they have not been in control that long. We have to take that into consideration. And we feel like they've been in control for millions of years. No, they have not been in control that long. A lot of people have to read history and bring themselves up to speed. And then by you reading history, you get to diagnose history and you can see, hey, these people have not been in control that long.
we ain't getting no reparations, man. Why would they get an enemy?
That's
Why
a
would
foregone conclusion.
Right. So hey,
That's that's just another fad, man. It's just another fad. That's all it is, man. We
right.
we like to be in this illusional mindset. And this is the sorriest, weakest period in history of us as a people, man. With the technology that we have, and our people are so knowledgeable about everything and understand that we built everything. That we built everything. There wouldn't be nothing without the divine genius work of our beloved ancestors and those of today, our young people of today. There would be nothing. But we are on this. We have this mentality. Most of our people. You know how you go on a roller coaster. And they tell you, and when you're at the top of the roller coaster, they tell you put your seatbelt on, and try not to wave your hands when the roller coaster is going down. Those who are on cold will put their seatbelts on because they're not under an illusion. But then you got the majority of those that don't have their seatbelt on that say, Jesus, this is my seatbelt. And then when the roller coaster goes down, all of their asses fall off the roller coaster and get ran over. Then they'll say the devil's a lie. This is the type of mental illness and fragmented, sissified energy that our people are dealing with. The men they turn the men into women, the boys into girls. Now they got, we went from Nat Turner, to motherfuckers wearing man bags, calling them, those are pocketbooks. Those are pocketbooks. Now they wearing suits with the little sport coat on, little ass sport coat on with the sleeves rolled up on the sport jacket with damn stretch pants, high water stretch pants, and goddamn tennis shoes on with a silk t-shirt on. Everybody got it's just so effeminized. Lip gloss, black men wearing fingernail polish. Go ahead, bro.
Nah, you good.
I want to read what brother Christopher DeWitt said. He says using black rappers and NBA players faces to promote and sell in our neighborhood.
They're not using them, man. That's an excuse. See, being used is being put in a position that you don't know what position you're put into. They voluntarily do this stuff for bags, notoriety, and fame. So the exchange of manhood for notoriety and fame in the bag, that's an exchange. They're not being tricked out of their manhood. They actually voluntarily exchange their manhood. You know, they're not being used. Now, our babies are being used because their minds haven't fully developed yet. So they're easy to be programmed. And this is why they want to cut out critical race theory and all these other things, you know, to reprogram our children. You know, and Elon Musk, you know, he's, you know, you got to understand this whole picture, because they already know that the men have been turned out. That the men have been turned out in all sports, all levels, entertainment, all politics, all religion. These people, in exchange for wealth, have given their manhood up. And,
you
and
know,
those
just to say this, LeBron with a maid dress on.
Westbrook.
Man, what's his name?
Westbrook.
Westbrook, yeah.
Westbrook had some pink on or something he had on. What's the rapper? Pharrell. Y'all see Pharrell? Pharrell feminine and his woman masculine.
Well, shoot. Busta Rhymes.
Shannon Sharp. He had Shannon Sharp had a Catwoman, a green Catwoman suit on with an orange pocketbook, man. Now this man is the physical specimen of a black man, man. This man got muscles in his shit. And see that's high tech buck breaking, man. That's buck breaking. Whoever y'all look up to, even down to Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson, man, you know, it kind of broke my heart when he made them statements. You know,
what kind of statement he made?
That he likes 2 fingers in his butt.
Oh man, what? Oh, man.
Yeah, well, they said when they Dr. Cresswell, he said they wanted to feminize the males in the communities. They doing a job of it.
When they started doing the 70s or the 80s?
It started in the 60s.
60s.
It started in the 60s. James Baldwin, Bayard Rustin, you know, all of that. But see, back then it was more covert. And that's because those particular individuals that engaged in that perversion had a great deal of respect for the black community, that they wouldn't be flamboyant in the black community. Of course, you had your exceptions like Little Richard and Liberace, you know, of course you had your exceptions, but that was kind of covert. Then came the 70s, Club 54, you know, the emergence of poppers, the powder cocaine era, the disco, you know, that was the introduction, you know, and then what came behind it, once you begin to demasculate, and then you have to compound it with more stronger drugs, the crack cocaine epidemic. We've heard, I know me and Gerald have heard stories about some of the most toughest men on the streets. You know, they were Mike Tyson in the daytime, but they was Flip Wilson at night. You know what I'm saying? Then you had the 90s. You had the emergence of the 90s, how they contaminated hip hop. You know, the bitches and hoes, and then ladies first. They start easing that on in it. You know, the Notorious Biggie, you know, the stuff he talked about, you know, sodomizing little children and throwing them off bridges and all this type of stuff. Because during that era, the times that we're in now was supposed to happen during that era. But then when the murder of Tupac Shakur and Biggie, that kind of put everything on hold. And so Diddy reignited that whole energy again. You know, and he wasn't the only one. He was backed by Clive Davis, Jimmy Iovine, Ted Field, Rick Rubin, and all these other sexual deviants who are the puppet masters that use our people and put them in positions like Dr. Dre and all them, you know, and make them millionaires and billionaires to do the buck breaking in these parties. Now it's become, you know, it becomes mainstream now, you know, to have 1,000 tattoos and, you know, have fingernail polish and toenail polish and, you know, talk all this sexual perversion, because there's one female rapper that says she doesn't like, she says heterosexual men are born.
Oh yeah.
I forgot her name, begins with an L or something. She's one of the new, she's one of the upcoming rappers or something, but she made a statement that heterosexual men are born. This is why the annihilation of masculinity is at such a high rate. The force is growing bigger and greater and greater. Then you have the GMOs. You fill all these cereals up that these children eat, these little boys eat, these Captain Crunch and sugar frosted flakes and all of this stuff. You pump them with estrogen, and you take the father out of the home, and with that estrogen, with that female energy, you create the Wayne Wade sons. You create them, you know, and the Magic Johnson sons, where they take pride. There's no way. There's no way. I never take no picture with my son with no goddamn dress on. You know, and they do this with pride, and they're rewarded. They get on all the talk shows and they talk about how proud they are that my son, you know, chews on penises and he wears his mother's clothes. They take pride in that. This is why they call it a sick society, not a society, but a sick society. You know what I'm saying? And we're not, we sit back and co-sign that bullshit. We co-sign Charleston White talking about fuck people's kids that you know, fuck the 5-year-old girl they got. We co-sign that. We help them become wealthy off of that madness. We're not dealing with that. I know in the 70s and 80s, these people would not exist. I'm just saying these people would not exist. Period. They would not have any type of vital signs whatsoever. You know, but now it's okay. You know, it's okay for a 6'8", 245-pound basketball player who scored the most points, you know, to be at a Diddy party in a maid outfit. You know, and we make excuses up for that. You know, he's the GOAT. You know, and all this type of stuff. And we co-sign this, man. And people don't, we don't step to these people like we're supposed to. And those who do, you're shadow banned, you're censored, you're monitored, you know, they track you down and monitor you even on and off the camera to see what your diet is, see what your habits are, you know, what type of case they can build up on you as far as the smear campaign. You know, how can they turn the people against you because you become a threat, you know, to the unconscious. You begin to wake people up.
That's right. Willfully ignorant.
You know, and just like views, people do anything for views now. People do anything for views.
But you know, the reason why Charleston White could survive, and the reason why people allow him on their show is because of views, because the views make money. All the pop stuff that he say, they don't care. That man making money for their channel. So that's what it's all
Well,
about. That's the world we living in now.
yeah.
So you willing to go broke? So you're willing to let? Now I'm talking about these people who open their have them all on his couches, and and they're willing to exchange for some views,
Yeah,
and to get a monthly check from YouTube
yeah.
in exchange for demasculating their grandchildren. You
Yep,
know,
they do that. You know,
That's
people
what they
sell their
do
mother
around.
out shelter.
I know. I'm just
Yeah,
saying, this is
for
what they're
$3.
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the world we living in.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't allow no man, because the dude foul, smart but foul, because I would never, that's just foul. It's a line that you don't cross. That's a little girl, that's a
Yeah.
baby. But
But
go ahead, brother. Go
yeah,
ahead.
when people say the most ironic things, people get attached to that. That's they start wearing them as slogans on their shirt, their t-shirts, and everything else. And when you get somebody that comes up with some of the most idiotic, nincompoop type of sayings or whatever have you, or says that that's part of the lifestyle or that's what we generally cling to, what you expect people to do. People like degradation. If you put something in front of them, it's like giving a person a bad pie. They accept the bad pie instead of the good pie. So that's the understanding that we have to grow. We have to come to a conclusion with. But there is something that we should start doing. And I think that if we don't pay attention to it, we give it no credence. Don't pay attention to it when you see it on your reel on Facebook or any other. Turn away from it. Turn it away. Don't even look at it. They'll remove it. But as long as we keep looking at it and saying that there's something significant being said, or there's something ironic being said, or something that's unimportant, and we give it that attention, quite naturally it got views.
But certain things, you should get banned from. You should be banned. For real.
I agree
Yeah.
with you.
Man.
I would agree with you.
It's
On
not gonna get bad, man. It's not gonna get bad because it's misleading to the people. You're misleading the people, and you're making our people turn against one another. So, when is it going to come to a point where we actually, the people that are for real, I mean for real, actually come together and take a stand. Like you said, Ken, reparations, the only way you're going to get reparations is take it. And I've been saying that for years. Ain't going to be no handouts. It's not going to be no I'm sorry for what we've done bullshit. Here go a partial pay. It's not going to happen, man. It would have been everybody else been compensated. How stupid and dumb can we continue to be to stand in the line at payday and everybody else gets their check but you?
Hey man, we gotta really realize, man, they know that we their enemies. And they gonna
Hey, let me
stand
add
up.
something. Let me add something to that.
Yeah.
You remember in the we talked, Shaka brought it out earlier when he talked about the Bible. And I ask people this all the time. Now, if you go back in the book of Genesis, and I'm saying a lot of us have read the Bible and read a lot of the things out of the Bible. When Moses and them was told that they was going to be given the land of milk and honey, they said that they would be delivered into a land where they can have peace and tranquility. Did they go on that land fighting and put together an army to fight against the Hivites, the Hittites, and the rest of the Canaanites and all the rest of the people that was there in the land? Didn't they not go to war?
They did.
They went to war. So if you delivering somebody to something, that's like saying, I'm gonna take my kid to the candy store, but in order for you to get that candy, you got to fight for it.
Come on, where's the logic at in that? And you mean to tell me
Right.
we can't get together? We can't get together and protect our own? Oh my
Right.
goodness. You got to think about that. And then you saying being indoctrinated. We've been systematically programmed, so indoctrinated, man. You got to think, you got to rewind those tapes and just think about it. Look at them.
Right.
Clean them. And we're gonna continue this catastrophe if we don't change it, if we don't change our mindset.
Right. There's not gonna be no peace without war. When all of us are fathers, they've been in homes and raised children. The house is the chaos till you pull that fucking belt out and start whooping ass. Then you get peace and structure and you get respect. And this is the mindset that we have. This is the mindset that we need to have again. There'll never be peace without war.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen, man. It's not going to happen. I don't care how many holograms they put in the air or none of that, man. How many legislations you write. I don't care how many times you say Geronimo and Chief Big Toe and John Redcorn and all these motherfuckers are your ancestors. None of that shit is going to help us get reparations. None of that shit is going to even the score until we even the score. We got to come out of this, this spookism, man. This spookism, this miseducation, this bougie thinking, this high-priced slave mentality. This energy of self-doubt and walk around with this defeated energy all the time that we can't do it. When we can do everything, and I've talked to hundreds of thousands of people, they can do everything till you mention going against these globalists. Mm-hmm. Oh, they got the army. Oh, they got this. Oh, they got that. But you don't say that when you spit in the block. You don't say that when your cousin owe you $100. You hope everybody's at the cookout while you knock him through the goddamn grill. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to us dealing with our natural, I'm talking about natural by nature, oppressors and enemies, we come up with 1,000 excuses. 1,000 excuses, and then we want to put on these, I call them stage plays now. You on Facebook with an AR. That's a stage play, man. Stop playing, man. Stop playing, man. When was the last time there been a goddamn straight up gun battle with law enforcement, man?
Ain't gonna do
the not fucking around movement, not fucking around mission and movement. You got 2,000 motherfuckers walking down the street. It wasn't even a goddamn spitball shot. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And also, when Trump incited that insurrection, man, he stood back. He ain't say nothing but for 168 minutes. He ain't say nothing, but he instigated it.
Yeah.
Why can't we get together and do some of the same things? But people are just so goddamn frightened. I mean, literally petrified of somebody that's just like them. They slip their pants on one leg at a time, just like we do.
Right. But did you hear? See, when it comes to us, we got to all be thinking alike. Okay, if you ain't a Moor, you ain't this, you ain't a Hebrew, you ain't a Christian. But when them crackers jumped over that wall, they didn't take time out and do no roll call on who were the Catholics, who were the Protestants, who were the Jews. They did none of that. They knew they had one thing in common. Let's get our ice monkey asses over this wall and tear these goddamn Democrats up, kick a knot in their ass. And then you got the slaves. Now black people are mad. Black people are mad at the fact that the white man had to jump over the wall to get to the master, the black people's oppressor, and then the slaves get mad at the white people that's trying to kill their oppressors.
Have we been jumping walls for centuries?
That's why really situation.
Go ahead. Fellas, go ahead and get your last remark before we end the show.
I want to say one thing. Not expressing. He said, my brother, stay focused 24/7 as we are. Thanks for the information. Thank you for tuning in, brother. Make the comment. All right.
Brother Gerald?
Well, the only thing I can say is that as a people, we really need to come together for unification. That should be first and foremost. Let's alleviate the fact of what organization, what coalition, what sort of entity we belong to that helps build our pride and emotions and our egotism. The thing that we need to start coming together and to understand, regardless of what you belong to, what you're doing, what you have, what you owe, what you got to prove to other people. Let's get together and see if we can't start be determined and diligent about moving forward as a people, no matter what it takes. Whether we getting farmed, whether we got to fight the war with, whether we got to educate our kids. Let's take each entity as it comes, but first and foremost, we have to get our liberation from the oppressive people that are leading us down a road to destruction.
Yeah, I want to say,
Brother Shaka.
Hold on, I got it. Let me go before Shaka. Sister Nettie B just chimed in. Thank you, sister, for always tuning in. And I got something to say. Love the people who are always tuning in. Always much love for supporting vocal dialect. You can also follow us on YouTube, Instagram, as well as TikTok, and our general right here, Brother T. Shaka Sankofa. Come on weeknights between 8 p.m. and 8:30 EST. Then he coming on tomorrow night, so go to T. Shaka
Friday.
Sankofa. Friday, he coming on at 8 to 8:30 p.m. EST.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock EST Eastern Time. So go to the Brother T. Shaka Sankofa and follow him on Facebook. Tune in. All right.
I'm not gonna say nothing. Enough been said. I am Knowledge Born 7. Can water or kill? Brother Gerald Moore and General